Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, we know that the waiting times in the NHS are pretty bad, and indeed, the service is pretty bad. But Scottish Lib Dem leader Alex Cole-Hamilton has revealed one of the reasons why the Scottish NHS is suffering worse than others is to do with the number of people off ill. In terms of percentage, it's very high. Currently, or at least at the last figures showed recently, over 2,500 staff were off on illness leave. They were off sick. They were suffering. A huge proportion of this is stress related, either because they are mentally stressed or because of the physical effects that mental stress can cause. And this will mean more stress for those still at work because of their colleagues being off. And it's a vicious circle. It gets worse and worse. Staff are demoralised. They're overworked. They're frequently attacked. There's not enough of them. And the problem then is that they become ill. They take time off. The pressures go on the remainers. They get ill. And so on. What can be done to relieve it? Well, number one, hire more staff, but not managers. Already got too many of them. Fire some of that, free up the money, and just keep hiring nurses. That's the way to do it. Nurses and junior doctors are the lifeblood of hospitals. You lose them, you don't have an NHS. Sod the expense, hire them. It brings down waiting lists. It means fewer people being traumatised. It means a better working environment. And after all, a lot of the time that these attacks in hospitals happen is because of the stress of either patients or patients' families, because nobody's getting seen. Sort this man out now. They get angry, they get frustrated. If people could come in and get seen in a reasonable time, there'd be a lot less of that. This is one of those laws of unintended consequences. Oh, look at the money we're saving not hiring people. Look at the violence visited upon those we have hired. In 2019 to 2020, 7,069 doctors and nurses and midwives were off on long-term sick. It jumped to 7,500 12 months later, increased to 8,500 in 2021, and soared to 10,748 in 2022-23. It fell back slightly to just over 10,000 last year. So far this year, 2,555 staff who were off all at once were overwhelmingly were nurses. This is deplorable. It's bad enough in an NHS that's falling apart due to massive underfunding, and where waiting lists to get into A&E can extend to several days, where all the ambulances are lined up in car parks because they can't get the patients out of the ambulance and into the hospital. And now you're losing staff. And it isn't even winter yet. It's going to be a bloodbath. Scottish hospitals are going to see trauma like they've never seen before. There will, quite literally, be blood in the corridors. And it's all the fault of Swinney and his cabal of useless wankers. People will die for the want of a halfpenny, basically. Because of the SNP's obsession with independence, you will know someone who will die. Sad to say it. Thank you very much.